I woke up at 2 a.m. to a text that cracked my life in half. You know that feeling when you're standing on a frozen lake and you hear the ice start to splinter beneath you? That was me in a dark hotel room, phone glowing on the nightstand. Finally did something about that house of yours. You're welcome. That's all it said. And I swear to you, for a second, I couldn't breathe. That house wasn't just a house. It was my anchor, my secret, my lifeline, and by dawn, it would become the fuse for the worst explosion of my life. That I was in Portland on assignment, running on 3 hours of sleep, when my mother texted again, sold it. You're never there anyway. Rachel's wedding needed the money. Sold it. My hands shook so badly I almost dropped the phone. They'd sold my home in Fairview, the brick colonial I'd picked specifically because it was 15 minutes from the courthouse and 20 from my office at the U.S. Marshals headquarters. You sold my house? I typed back, stop being dramatic, she replied. We had your power of attorney from when you were overseas. The sale closed yesterday. $850,000. Cash. You can thank us next week at the reunion. $850,000. I felt sick. That power of attorney was from my deployment in Afghanistan 6 years ago, a dusty piece of paperwork I'd forgotten to revoke. Mom, stop the sale immediately. It's done. Don't be selfish. Family helps family. Family helps family. That line would echo in my head for months. That I called my boss, Deputy Chief Marshal Ryan Hale, at 3 a.m. Sir, I whispered, we have a problem. My family just sold my house. Silence. Then, your house? The safe house? The word safe hit me like a punch. Yes, sir. The safe house. The one for the Garvey case. Another silence, heavier this time. How long ago? He asked. Closed yesterday. Angela Vescari and her 2 kids are still there. Ryan swore under his breath. You're telling me your parents sold a federal safe house to someone we don't know? Yes, sir. Get on the first flight back. We're moving them now. By the time my plane touched down in D.C., I had 17 new texts from my mother. Variations of, you're ruining Rachel's wedding, and, stop being so dramatic. I drove straight to headquarters, walked into a secure conference room, and laid it all out, the power of attorney, the unauthorized sale, the cash price that didn't make sense. Our legal counsel stared at me, pale. You're saying your parents sold a property registered as a federal safe house, currently housing a protected witness and her children? Yes, ma'am. Ryan slammed his palm on the table. An $850,000 cash sale for a $2.8 million house? This wasn't an accident. This was a hit. We rolled up to the house in Fairview with a full tactical team. Marshals Rodriguez and Chin met us at the door, confused. Sir, what's going on? The house was sold without authorization, Ryan said. We're evacuating the witnesses now. Inside, Angela Vescari sat at the kitchen table with her 8-year-old daughter and 6-year-old son, eating lunch. Her face drained of color as we entered. What happened? Did they find us? She asked. No, ma'am, Ryan said gently. But we're moving you as a precaution. 10 minutes to pack. Angela's voice cracked. You said we'd be safe here. I know, Ryan said. There's been a complication. I couldn't look at her. My parents had done this. My parents had cracked the shield between her and the people who wanted her dead. That we got them out safely. Then Ryan turned to me. Where are your parents now? The reunion. My uncle's farm in Pennsylvania. Change of plans. We're going there. Bring a recorder. We need everything on the record. It was late afternoon when we pulled up the long gravel driveway. Kids were playing tag in the yard. Barbecue smoke drifted from the back patio. My mother stood near the grill, laughing with my aunts. She spotted me, waved, then saw the badges and froze. Lena, what's going on? She called, still trying to sound casual. My father came out holding a beer. My sister Rachel and her fiancé trailed behind. I walked right up to them, heart pounding. We need to talk about the house. Oh, for heaven's sake, my mother said. Are you still upset? We did you a favor. That house, I said, voice shaking, was a federal safe house. It was sheltering a witness and her children from the Garvey crime family. And you sold it to a shell company owned by them. Her face went white. My father lowered his beer. That's impossible. You told us you worked in office administration. I'm a deputy U.S. Marshal, I said. I have been for 4 years. Rachel stepped forward. They were just trying to help. They got me $400,000 for the wedding. I turned to her. Your wedding money came from an illegal sale of federal property. That money's going to be seized as evidence. My father's voice rose. We didn't commit any crime. We sold your house. You're never around. What were we supposed to think? You were supposed to ask me first, I snapped. And now 3 lives could have been lost because you didn't. Ryan's phone buzzed. He glanced at it, then at me. We've confirmed Riverside Holdings is owned by the Garvey family. They bought your house. They knew exactly what it was. My blood went cold. I turned back to my family. Who approached you about selling? My mother hesitated. A real estate agent. She called us. Said she had buyers. You didn't list the house? No. She said she heard we had property we might want to sell. I may have mentioned it at the club. At the club? I was talking about Rachel's wedding. Someone suggested liquidating assets. I mentioned your house. Ryan pinched the bridge of his nose. Mrs. Carter, you discussed your daughter's property, federal property, at a country club in front of strangers. My father's face turned gray. You're saying we helped the mob? Yes, our legal counsel said flatly. You sold them direct access to a protected witness. Rachel grabbed my arm. Lena, we didn't know. Please believe us. I pulled away. You never ask. You never respect boundaries. You never imagine my life might be bigger than you assume. The tactical agent stepped forward with a warrant. Mr. and Mrs. Carter, one said, we're seizing all proceeds from the sale. You're under investigation for witness tampering and theft of government property. My father's voice cracked. Lena, stop this. Tell them it was a misunderstanding. I met his eyes. You sold a safe house to the mob. Whether you meant harm or not, you endangered 3 lives. I'm not stopping this. My parents were arrested that night. Rachel's wedding fund frozen. Her fiancé left 2 days later. The Garvey network of fake agents and shell companies unraveled under federal investigation. Angela Vescari testified. Vincent Garvey Sr. is now serving life. His son, 20 years that my parents were convicted 6 months later. 4 years for my father. 3 years for my mother. The judge told them ignorance wasn't an excuse, that I visited them once before sentencing. They sat across from me in orange jumpsuits, looking a decade older. Please, my mother whispered. Can't you do something? We didn't know. I stared at them, remembering Angela's terrified face. If the Garveys had reached her first, you'd be facing murder charges. This is getting off light. My father's hands shook. When we get out, will you forgive us? You're my parents, I said quietly. And now you're federal inmates who compromised a witness protection case for $850,000. Actions have consequences. 2 years later, my mother sent me an 8-page letter from prison. Apologies. Explanations. Please. I read it once, filed it with the case documents, and went back to work, because here's the truth, family matters. But so does the job. So does protecting people who can't protect themselves. So does knowing that 3 children are alive because I moved fast enough to get them out. That if that makes me cold, if that makes me a bad daughter, I'll live with it. Angela Vescari's kids are alive. That matters more than my parents' feelings. It always will. If you're still watching this, ask yourself, where do you draw the line between loyalty and duty? Between family and what's right? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Because sometimes the people who betray you the most are the ones who share your last name.